Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now today I've got the Cheer and Good Tidings BetterPress Plate from Spellbinders, and this is a new set that has come out from the Starry Holiday Collection by Dina Wakely. And this particular set here has a registration guide that goes with it. And I'm going to show you how to use it. Now I've already die cut one out. I'm going to show you. I've actually taken the Stars and Fronds frame and I have embossed a teal panel of Spellbinders cardstock. It's gorgeous. I love it. And then I did work with the press plate and the registration, and I just want to show you what I have here. And then we're going to do another one just in kind of a different way. And then we'll come back and assemble both of them. So I took this and I got my base panel ready. And so then I took my registration plate and I believe that I followed it accurately. And I pressed it. And when you do that, you get your deer and you get your stars, but you get one star right here inside the deer. And I thought, well, maybe it's just like a shadow of a deer or something. I don't know. But this also has the ability to die cut out the deer separately. So when I saw that, I thought, I don't know if I like that on there. So I went ahead and I die cut the deer out again separately, and I thought I could layer it up. And I just ink blended it, made it very rustic looking, and then I brought the cinnamon in and made it rustic looking too. And I thought I could tear the edges to add some additional rusticness to it and do it like that, and then pop this deer up just a little bit. But I want to try it again just to make sure it wasn't user error. I'm pretty sure that I lined it up correctly, because when I look at it, if I take this plate here and I line it up where it goes, you can see that that is going to stamp on the deer. So if you don't want that star on your deer, don't ink that up. So that's my suggestion. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do tonight, is do it that way. So let's go ahead. I'm going to lay this aside. It's ready to go. We can assemble it. We'll have 2 cards when we get finished. But let's go ahead and do our better pressing, just because I don't think a lot of people do a lot of pressing on videos. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So what I would do is I'll just bring in my BetterPress, and I have used it, so it is dirty. And I'm going to bring in my registration plate, and I'm going to line it up with the A2 markings on the press plate. So I've just got that green line lined up on that A2 line all the way around. I think I'm going to go ahead and bring in some, just so it doesn't move on me. I'll bring in some tape and just kind of lay it down in a couple of places just to keep it from moving. It's not going to be, well, that one would be in the way. I need to move it slightly. I don't want it to be in the way of where I'm going to lay my pieces down. So I think what I did when I did this one was I did the deer first, and then I did the stars, and then that's when I realized that the stars do show up on there. I'm going to go ahead and do my deer first again, and then I'm going to try to avoid inking that star up that's right there, and that may not bother you. So for this, I have in mind 2 inks. I'm going to use, actually, I'm changing my mind on that. I'm going to use the saffron for the stars. I'm going to use black for the deer. And the reason why I'm going to use black for the deer is for this card, I'm going to make it really dark. I'm going to make it like a real dark scene, and I'm going to use black. And I'm hoping the saffron will show up on here. I don't know if it will. It may be an epic fail, but I think that's what I'm going to do, is use the black and make it kind of a shadowy type thing. And maybe that star wouldn't bother me in that situation. I'm going to get some pink tape, and we'll get this lined up on here. We're going to lay it, you know, right along with the A2 size markings, so that we're all lined up. Now I'm taking this pink tape and I stuck it to my shirt in the attempt to stop it from tearing my cardstock after it runs through, after it presses through. I've been having trouble with pink pixie tape used to never tear. I don't know why it is now, but anyway, so I've done that. I've got that laid down on there. Then we'll flip it over and do that. So meantime, I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. I'm repeating myself, goodness, with black ink. And we'll just do this and see how it turns out. I'm going to hold it still for a minute. And my stomach is growling, so pardon me for that. Just hold it still and get it inked up really well. And we'll see. I'm hoping it'll turn out all right on this gray cardstock because I think it could be really a neat night scene. So it has moved a little bit. I'm going to take my poke tool here and just kind of move it a little bit and get it lined right up with the registration marks. Make sure it's right inside of there all the way around. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. And so we're going to take it and we are going to bring in our Spellbinders Platinum 6 and just run it through. And I'm only going to run it through once. I think I ran it through twice the last time, and I actually got some holes that poked through it. So I'll show you those in a minute, but let's get this done first. So, oh, I like that. It did turn out nice. I really like that. I think it's going to work. So now what we do is we just remove our deer, and I'll just bring him back over here. And I'll try not to get ink all over me. And then I'm going to add these stars to it. And I'm going to actually take it. It's been a few days since I used them, but they do look like they're inky. So I'm going to go ahead and just, specifically this one, because this is the one that overlaps. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any ink on there. It's, I think, this spot right here where it overlaps. I'm just going to make sure I get it good and clean. And hopefully it won't. It's this one right here. So it doesn't press on there. And then I'm going to lay it down. And then we'll get the others and we'll lay it down and just get it lined up. I think I'm even going to, I was thinking about going ahead and just bringing in my sentiment and just having it all on a dark base, but I'm gonna wait on that. So I've got these laid down where I want them, and then I'm gonna just take my saffron, and I don't know if it'll show up on that gray cardstock or not, but I'm putting my finger right on that star that I don't want to ink up, and I'm inking everything else up and trying to get it really well so that perhaps it will show on that gray cardstock. I'm hopeful that it will, and then we'll have a real moody, starry night. Now this one I don't care because it can actually star right there. Let me look at my, yeah, that one didn't bother me. So just get it all inked up, and then we'll get it back where it belongs after I get it inked up real well. There we go. I think we'll be all right. Okay, now let's just take our poke tool and just move it back where we want it. I think that looks pretty good. This one looks pretty good, and I tried to avoid that star right there. Now we might get some dots on there, but those aren't going to bother me, I think, like the star did. Let me look at it real quick. Yeah, no, they fall outside. If I get it lined up right, those two dots are going to fall outside. So I think we're going to be okay. All right, let's go ahead and give this a press and see what happens. Like I said, I'm just giving it one press. And I'll show you what I'm referencing here. This one I think I pressed twice, and you can see we've got some holes in it. I wrote on the back that I used Shabby Shutters, Speckled Egg, Mowed Lawn, Uncharted Mariner, Ground Espresso, so that I would know what I used. But anyway, I did, you can kind of see, put some white behind there, and you can kind of see that it did poke through. It won't matter on the card because we'll have blue showing through there. But anyway, let's see how this turns out. Okay, we do have our stars, and we've got a little color to it. It doesn't look, you know, as yellow as I thought it would, but I think I would like this. And the star did press, which I didn't think about that, but we don't have that color on there. So I think we're going to have to go with it. I didn't even think about it pressing, but anyway. So let's go ahead and we'll bring in, I'm going to get this off of here, and let's bring in something that we can stamp our sentiment on, because I want to use the sentiment from the BetterPress. I've got this one for that particular card, but I want to add one for this one. So a little spray on there. I'll just spray that off. And then what I think I'll use is my my watercolor paper to press this sentiment on. And I don't have any cotton. I haven't had any for a while, so I've been using my watercolor, and it works just fine. It's not a white either. It's kind of an off-white. And so I'm going to just lay this down on here. And I probably have a scrap. So let me see if I can find a scrap real quick. It would be right inside here with all my Spellbinders. Yes, I do. Which one do I want to use? Not that one. It just doesn't look clean enough for me. Let's go with this one here. And I've got it right there on the line, so we'll take this off. It's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. I was really hoping to get kind of a more, a brighter tone, but I think it'll be okay. Now this, I got a good poke, but it didn't poke through. So let's just see where we can go with that. I don't usually make dark cards like that, but I think it could be a little moody. So I'm going to just take this and I'm just making sure I've got it across the middle of it. And I want the smoother side up, so I'm just going to do that. And I'm probably wasting it by doing the middle, but I'm just going to ensure that I get it really good. And then I think I'm just going to bring the black in. Is what I'm going to do this time. I did brown last time. I'll get it all inked up, and then we'll move it back into place. Sometimes I'll just rub them on here, and that works out pretty good, except you got to make sure you get the hairs off of them. Okay, so we got that. Let's get the lid back on the saffron. And let's get this lined up. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to use a die to die cut it out, but might as well try to get it centered. Okay, we've got that. And we'll just give it a quick press. And there we go. It snapped right on it. And we've got cheer and good tidings to you. It's very crooked on there. It moved on me. Okay. So we're going to need our die cutting machine, and we're going to need our let's see, is this 3D? Yes, this is a 3D embossing folder, so we're going to need the 3D sandwich. So let me grab those, and we'll get those taken care of. Bringing in all the pieces pressed, because we're going to want to die cut that cinnamon out anyway. So we're going to need, you know, our base plate, and then our D plate. And I've got this gorgeous green, dark green cardstock that I'm going to use for this, and I think it'll look really pretty. I like the blue, or the teal blue that I used, but I think this green will be lovely as well. So let's go ahead and run it through our die cutting machine. See if I can get this straightened around. Lower my desk a little bit. There we go. And I'll just run it through and see what we get. And that's just lovely. It's just beautiful. Love that dark green. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so let's go ahead and get our cinnamon die cut out. And I don't think we're going to need to do the deer, use the die for the deer, because I think I'm going to go with what we pressed. And we'll have one where we have it pressed and the other where we've die cut it out, and we'll have both options available. So I need to get my pieces parts in here, and my plates are a wreck, so I apologize for that, but that's what happens when you use them all the time. I bring my sentiment in, and because I've got that crooked, I'm going to have to line it up very crooked. And we will get it laid down on there. I've got some of this tape over here that I can reuse, and it shouldn't tear. So we'll try to get it lined up. I think that's going to be okay. Oops. Get this out of the way. We'll bring this in. Oh, I got to clean those plates. Give it a press. We'll probably want to darken that cinnamon up some because it's a little bit light for all of our darkness that we've got going on there, but we'll see. So we've got the makings of 2 cards. I feel like I would like to scale this down some because I really want that embossed panel to show. I think I'm going to tear the edges on the other one, but for this one, I think I might go with a nested die of some sort or something. I'm just going to audition some of these. I think this, I can't remember what this is called. I'll have to look it up. But I think this could be kind of a neat panel for it. And I feel like I might be able to go down even one more and show a little bit more of that embossed panel. I think we could do it like that, and then we would have this much of our panel showing. And I really would like to showcase that. So let's do that. We'll just have a little bit of our, just take off a little bit of our deer, and then we'll have our stars and our moon shining there. And we'll see what happens. How much bigger is that? We might be able to put a layer between there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now let's see what we've got going on here. So we have this, and we can lay it down on there. I think you can still see our panel nice. I think that's okay. I'm not sure about how our sentiment is going to work with it. I think it works all right. It's a little bit bright or whatever. I wonder if we could take just a little bit of our saffron and just kind of go around the edges here. I know you don't really see that color much on that gray panel, but I thought we might be able to just take and add a little bit of it to it and just give it a little bit of an interesting look. All right, let's go ahead and lay them down and see how they look. So I think I'm gonna take this straight to my card base. So let's just bring in some of our glue, if I can find it in my mess of a table here. Have to clean it up. This embossing folder is just simply gorgeous. I've got to get some more of this green paper too. I love it. It's beautiful. Okay, bring that in. That looks good. Very pretty. Now, I feel like it's a little stark. I'm thinking that maybe I want to bring in my black soot and just ink it up just a little bit. And I'm thinking of doing the same thing with it that I did with the cinnamon, and just kind of going around the edges like that. Not getting too much, but just enough. I'm really just getting the edges. Okay, I think we're going to stop there because I think I could make a mess out of it. And I probably still can because it is wet. So just lay that aside there. Let's put some glue on the back of this and let's layer it up. I wonder if I could have used some of my lunar paste on that and just kind of rubbed it real carefully across that and got some, you know, some shine to that. I don't know if that would have worked or not, but all right. So we're going to get this laid down on our card base. Grab my scissors and they have got foam tape all over them. Need to pick that off. We'll get it laid down on there. It's a very simple card. I'm wondering if we should spray some, maybe a little sheen on it. I think I might try that. I'm thinking about this flickering candle. Before I do anything, I'm going to give it a little spray and just see how it comes out so I don't totally ruin this. Okay, I think if I get a gentle press like that, it'll be okay. I better quit while I'm ahead. I think that looks pretty good. I've got some good sheen to it. I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead and not get carried away. We'll put this up, and we've got a little bit of mixed media we've added to it. All right. So we'll just remove these background panels. This is wet. I probably should have had the sentiment in there with it to give it a little bit of a spritz, but we've got that saffron on there, so I think it'll be okay. Let's get this laid down on here. And I think that added a nice little detail to it, just to spritz it. Kind of goes along with the starry night and everything. So I think that'll be all right. And then we've got our sentiment that we can add to it. Cheer and good tidings to you. I've got some thin foam that I think I can lay down on here. And we'll just snip that off. Oops. I keep having that happen where it won't pull completely off. Strange. Anyway. And we'll just lay that down on there. And I think we've got texture, and we've got, you know, the BetterPress, we've got our sentiment, and we've got a little bit of sheen to it. So I think that looks neat. Let's go ahead and put the other card together that I had previously worked on. I think I'm going to just lay this straight down. And then, as I mentioned when I started the video, that I might tear that other panel to kind of get a rough look to it, a rustic look to it. So I think we'll try that. I don't do that very often, so it's kind of fun to change things up and do things a little bit differently occasionally. Got a little bit of an edge on there, but not enough to bother me with this one. So we've got it, it's kind of got a little bit of a tear on it anyway right there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and hopefully I can tear it. It is the Canson watercolor paper, and it's heavy. It is heavy paper. So I'm just going to try and tear a little bit of it and get a little bit of a rustic edge to it. And I'm not doing a very good job with it. I want to tear it this way. I have to help aid in the tearing with the scissors. There we go. Now we've got it going. And we will just kind of tear it up. And this will allow for us to see more of our BetterPress panel behind there, because I really like that. I think it's really pretty. And I don't even know what size I'm going here. I'm thinking I want to take a little bit more off here and just make it a little bit smaller. I'd kind of like to get, you know, around 3 3/4 by 5, but I have no idea what we're going to wind up with here, because this is just, I'm going rogue here. Okay. It's closer to 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, but I think that'll be all right. I think that looks nice. We could probably take our bark ink and just kind of dirty that up a little bit. Almost looks like it's been burnt. Let me get a blending brush. Okay. And this is not ink that I normally would blend with. That's my BetterPress ink, but I think it'll work just the same. I'm just gonna kind of dirty that up a little bit more. And then I think this one could benefit from the spritzing too. So I'm gonna just lay this one aside. We'll kind of clear a spot, and let's go ahead and spritz it too. And I think with this one, I'll go ahead and throw that sentiment in there and see what happens. Getting a little bit more comfortable with it, so I'm adding a little bit more than what I did the last time. So let's go ahead and grab some tweezers and get this out of here, set it down. I think I'm gonna need to let that dry just a minute and then I'll be back. Okay, I think we can work with it now. Now the one thing I didn't think about was that we didn't put our deer in there to ink him up. So he would not look inky, but he would definitely look like he's on a starry night. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with it. I like it like this. I think it looks nice now that I've done that. And I think I would like that star being colored on there now better since I've done that. But I think since I have this, I'm gonna go ahead and use it, and we're just gonna make him pop up and kind of have a shadow on there. And I think it'll make for an interesting look, and then we'll have two different type of cards. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and lay this one directly down, and we're gonna pop up our deer. So. Okay. We get it laid down on here. And I know our background panel, our 3D embossed panel, is very clean looking. So we've kind of got a contrast there. Now I have got some small foam squares I think I'll just use on the deer and just kind of, I'll have to add several, but I think I'll just go with these. And they're black, so they're not going to show. And we'll just use some of these up. Oops. Okay, I think we've got a good amount. I'm going to put this one right here. Now we just need to pull all the bits and pieces off. I think I could use one more right there. Okay. Now we'll just pull all these little bits and pieces off, and then we'll get him lined up on there. I need to get that out of there. Might show up later if we don't. And then we're just going to line it up. Try and line it right up with what we've got there. And we'll wipe all of these away. And we've got our cheer and good tidings to you. And I'm just going to glue this directly down. We're not going to pop it up. We've got our deer. And there we go. We've got two BetterPress cards. Very dark, very moody. Got a little sparkle and shine to them. Let me know what you think. It's not my normal style, so let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.